Guys, I am recording a video about the best striker in UFC in every single weight class. And while I am assessing this, the criteria that I'll be basing it on would be the skill level of the fighter and also the competition level that they face. And also, I'll be looking at the experience level of the person as well. So I'm going to start with the heavyweight division actually. So in heavyweight division, we have John Jones as a champion. And if you're looking at the strikers in the division, you have John Jones, who I would say is like one of the nominees of being the best striker. Then you have Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gahn, Alexander Volkov. So the first four guys are predominantly strikers, and then Sergey Pavlovich is also a striker. I think those are the renowned strikers. I would say you have Tai Tuivasa, who is like a big puncher. At the same time, Derek Lewis, pretty effective striker. I'm also going to be looking at the effectiveness of the striking. So it might not just be like the skill striking wise, but also the effectiveness. Because if you're like a knockout puncher and you know how to set it up, you might not even need 10 punches to actually knock the guy out. If you're doing it with one shot, but you can just set it up and you've been effective against the high level competition, that also counts as well. But I am not going to consider Derek Lewis in the competition because he has so many losses and his striking has not been the most effective. In terms of like knocking people out, yes, he's very good at it, but he's not been very effective in terms of like setting it up. Tai Tuivasa, again, the same sort of case. I would say Tom Aspinall. And the reason I'm saying this is his striking is very effective. The way he's doing it, multiply with the speed and the power that he has, the in and out footwork, the beautiful footwork that he has, he's doing it very effectively because most of his fight finishes are in the first round, and he's doing that to the highest level of the competition. So if you look at his competition and the guys that he has knocked out, Sergey Pavlovich, very high level guy. In terms of like Sergey was knocking everybody out, Tom Aspinall just sparked him completely, knocked him out in the first round. Curtis Blades, now this is a guy who can actually shoot the takedowns on you, but Tom Aspinall was able to knock him out. So he knocked out Curtis Blades, knocked out Sergey Pavlovich, Sergey Spivak, again a good grappler. Tom Aspinall just knocked him out in the first round. Yeah, so Tom Aspinall was able to do it at a very high level against the top 10 guys, top 5 guys. And I would say Tom Aspinall is definitely the most effective. I'm not going to say John Jones had good competition, and I think he had good striking battles against some of the high level strikers like Dominic Reyes match. He didn't get any takedowns in that fight, but I think he lost the fight. It was a close fight, but I think he lost the fight. And also, John Jones didn't ever have like enough power. I would say like a one shot KO sort of power that he could just dominate the fight. He could just rely on his striking and just knock the spark out of the guy. And against some of his competition, I would say he struggled a little bit with the striking as well, like Thiago Santos. If Thiago didn't actually break his leg during the fight or hurt his leg during the fight, he could have actually won that fight. It was a split decision as well, very close fight. And then the fight against Alexander Gustafsson, John Jones was getting ripped throughout the whole fight, nearly the whole fight. So John Jones had problems striking, and I don't think John Jones has like the best striking defense. Like he gets hit a lot. I think he's got an amazing chin that he can rely on, but I would not say that. And the reason I would not say Cyril Gahn is a close mention. He's been able to outstruck a lot of good guys, but I would say his competition was probably not as high as like Tom Aspinall. Like he outstruck Volkov in the first fight, but then he also got outstruck in the second fight. And I would say Volkov has been able to do it at a very high level, but I don't think it was as effective as Tom Aspinall. Neither Cyril Gahn nor Volkov have been able to knock people out like Tom Aspinall. So Tom Aspinall, the best striker in the heavyweight division. Now we move to light heavyweight. I think light heavyweight is full of strikers. There's a lot of them. So first of all, you have the champion Alex Pereira, who actually I'm gonna choose to be the best striker. But again, other mentions could be you have Yuri Prohaska, you have Jamal Hill, you have Jan Blachowicz. All of them are predominantly striking strikers. Even Magomed Ankalaev, like most of his fights, he tries to strike more than he wrestles. And then you have Carlos Alberg, an upcoming, but I think he needs to prove more. Like he's been able to do it to a certain level, but he needs to prove more. He needs to do it against like the top 5 level guys. Khalil Roundtree has done it against good guys, I would say. Khalil Roundtree, but not against any top 5. Like Alex Pereira fight, he gave him a run for money. That was a really good one. Johnny Walker, really stylish guy. There was a time when he was knocking everybody out, was doing it in a style as well. But no, Dominic Reyes, yes, he's done it to a high level competition, but no fighters on the current roster that are high level. He's done it. I mean, he did pretty good against John Jones, but that was like a long time ago. And also, I'm not sure if Dominic Reyes is a striker on the same level now. So Alex Pereira, because if you look at the guys that he's actually done it against, and he's been the most effective guys in terms of like he just breaks you down and he knocks you out, and he can set it up. Like Alex Pereira might be one of the best strikers. Alex Pereira, like in the whole UFC, Alex Pereira can. He's a very skilled striker. He knows how to be stay defensively strong. He can put it on you, but he can also do like sniper striking. Like he can stay away from you and wait for you to actually come to be able to counter. He can do that, but he can also play the game where he can put it on you and actually throw combinations. And his kicking game and boxing game, both of them are pretty strong. He's knocked a guy out like Jiri Prohaska twice. He's done it to Jamal Hill, again another striker. He's beaten Jan Blachowicz. The time that they actually spent on the feet fighting, striking, Alex Pereira was dominating him, but Jan actually got the takedowns on him, which made the fight very close. And then he did outclass Khalid Roundtree. So I would say Alex Pereira is definitely the best. And also, we can actually pull it up his record from the middleweight as well. Like he's done it to the guys, high level strikers of the middleweight. So he knocked out Sean Strickland and knocked out Israel Adesanya, which I'm gonna say later are one of the best strikers in the middleweight, and he knocked both of them out. So Alex Pereira definitely that was an easy one. That was like an easy mention. Alex Pereira is the best striker in the light heavyweight division. Then we move to middleweight division. There you have Dricus Du Plessis, who I'm gonna say has been very effective actually. His striking was very effective against Strickland. His striking was very effective against Israel Adesanya. He hurt him on the feet actually, and then actually took him down. It was very effective against Whittaker when he dropped him with a jab. So I don't think Strickland, Du Plessis actually get the credit that he deserves for his striking. Like I know his striking is probably not the most technical, but the way he strikes, it works for him. Sean Strickland has been very effective in striking. Sean Strickland was winning against Du Plessis if you're strictly basing it on the time that they actually spend on the feet. Now you can have an argument that Dricus actually was landing the bigger shots, but I would say Dricus needed the takedowns to actually get the W, and it was a pretty close fight. But Sean Strickland actually won the striking battle. He did the same against Israel Adesanya, just walked him down. That's what he did during the whole fight, and it worked for him. And yeah, Sean Strickland has done it to a pretty high level, but I am gonna pick, because of the longevity, I'm gonna pick Israel Adesanya over here. I know both Dricus Du Plessis and Sean Strickland have got victories against Israel Adesanya, but I think Israel Adesanya has just done it on a higher level. And none of his fights had anything to do with him doing the grappling, initiating the grappling, or winning the fights by grappling. So all of the fights that he was winning, that was solely because of his striking. So he's done it, first of all, twice to Robert Whittaker. Is a great fighter. In the first fight, he knocked him out. Second fight, Robert Whittaker actually was able to close the distance, was able to close the fight by securing a few takedowns, but easy got the W even in that fight. And then he's done it to Marvin Vittori. He's done it to Jared Cannonier. Completely outclassed both of those guys. He's done it to Paulo Costa. And Paulo Costa, although he's not in the top 10 right now, but he was in top 5 previously. So he's done, I think Israel Adesanya has just done it to a very high level. And then we can pull up Pereira as well. Like he had a fight against Pereira where he knocked him out. One of the very few guys to do it. And again, even against Jan Blachowicz, he was doing pretty good in the light heavyweight championship bout. But against Jan, I think it was the leg kicks and it was the takedowns that took him. But Israel was doing pretty good. So I would say Israel Adesanya because of the things that he has proven. Now, can he strike on the same level now? I'm not really sure. I think Israel still has it in him. Like he hasn't fully lost it. I think even in the fight against Du Plessis, if you're just strictly basing it on the time spent on the feet, who actually won it, I think Izzy did a little bit better than Du Plessis, although Du Plessis was pretty close in striking too. But I think Izzy won the striking battle, and Du Plessis secured a few takedowns that got him the W. And then we move to the welterweight. So Bilal Muhammad has been pretty effective with his striking, but I would say he doesn't necessarily win most of his fights because of his striking. It's the threat of the takedowns, and that's what he's trying to do. Like he would throw a couple of strikes, but then he would initiate the takedown. He has beaten some of the guys because of his striking, which are Sean Brady and Gilbert Burns. The reason being Sean Brady is a hard guy to take down, good wrestling background. Bilal didn't try to take him down, and Gilbert Burns against, there wasn't going to be much point of taking him down because Burns is a high-level jiu-jitsu guy. So those two guys, Bilal actually shut them down with the striking. But I think overall, if you have to pick, I think it would be very hard to pick anyone other than Leon Edwards. You do have some good mentions, like Shavkat Rakhmonov. He's been very effective with the strikings, but again, I think a lot of his victories actually came via submission. So that's always been his plan, to actually put them in a position where you go for a guillotine or a rear naked choke. Jack Della would be a close one. Jack Della is the one where I was thinking that, because he knocked out Gilbert Burns. He knocked out Gilbert Burns, and he's been doing it to a good certain level where, and he's been showing a lot of skill as well. So Jack Della is one of those guys who's like showing a lot of boxing skills in this fight, which makes me think that I could potentially choose him to be the best striker. But the only reason I'm not going to pick him is because I don't think he's done it to. I don't think he had a chance to be in competition against like a high level skilled UFC guy where I could say, okay, Jack Della is definitely a better striker. Like if they put him in a match against Leon Edwards and Jack Della just outclasses him, then I can put him. But I don't think he had like a high level fights against a lot of top 10 contenders where I could say that he has earned it. Although I do think skill wise he might be better than Leon Edwards, because I think Leon Edwards is a very sort of like counter puncher. His activity is pretty low. He's waiting for you to actually lunge in, waiting for you to actually make a mistake so he can initiate the attacks. Other than the leg kicks that you throw, sometimes I think Jack Della's output is much higher. Like he's one of those guys who would actually put it on you, and it's very hard to hit him. He's defensively very strong. He's got okay kicks. He's got very good boxing. Definitely the best in the welterweight division. I think Ian Machado Gary is also one of those guys who can actually we can actually put him here as well. Ian had pretty good striking battles. He I mean he dominated some of the guys. He was doing pretty good striking with Jeff Neal, although he was getting caught sometimes. Against Neil Magny, he was kind of completely dominating him. MVP fight was one of those fights where we were like, okay, Ian's striking is probably not that good, because he resorted to taking MVP down because MVP dominated the striking battle. And then against Shavkat, again, he did not look good. Even in the striking, he did not look good. So Ian Machado, that's one of the reasons I'm not going to put him, because there have been fights where he looked like he's not the best striker. He had to resort to like taking the guy down or something else. So I would say Leon Edwards has been able to prove more against a high level competition. He's done 1-2 fights against Usman, and they were based on his striking. And then he's the first fight that he had with Bilal Muhammad. He was kind of dominating the fight on the feed, and then Colby Covington fight against dominated via striking. So I'm gonna put Stephen Thompson is another mention. I'm gonna say Stephen Thompson is not on the same level. Like Stephen Thompson probably has more skills than any of those guys on the feet, but he's not on the same level that he used to compete at. He's not. He's slowed down. I can see he's slowed down. He probably does not even have the same sort of power that he used to have. So for that reason, I'm gonna say Leon Edwards right now, but I see a lot of potential Jack Della. I think Jack Della might be the guys that you need to look for. Next we're gonna move to lightweight division. You have Islam Makhachev as a champion, who is a very underrated striker. Islam is one of those guys who doesn't get enough credit for being a good striker, but you've seen his fights against Alexander Volkanovski. Even the first fight, he did get a few takedowns, but he was able to hold his own. During the striking battle against Volkanovski, is one of the best strikers in the featherweight division. And then the fight against Oliveira, he was able to drop Oliveira down. He was countering Oliveira every single time that Oliveira was actually coming in, catching with the left hook, right hook. And then the fight against Dustin Poirier, I mean, Islam was really striking with him in the pocket, really doing really nice, was throwing nice knees in the clinches. This is what people don't actually rate. The thing about Islam is that Islam's clinch work is so beautiful. He's got a very strong clinch, so once he actually gets his hands on your neck, it's really hard for you to actually get out of it. And he throws really nice knees. Now I know he sets up the takedowns from there as well. Like he'll throw a knee, he'll wait for you to actually throw a knee back, and when you throw a knee, he will actually trip you. But he's actually doing a lot of damage in the clinches. And also when he's got clinches against the cage, he's doing a lot of damage over there. And people don't actually rate Islam's pocket boxing. Like this is something that he wasn't doing previously, but he's added that to his arsenal for like I would say like the last couple of months he's been, or like a 1 or 2 years he's been doing it. I guess Dustin, he showed that a lot. Like he will stand in the pocket and he will actually throw shots where he's throwing the combinations, beautiful body shots. Islam has done that. And another thing that Islam does is a good counter left that he does. Like anytime you try to throw a kick, he'll probably catch a kick and try to throw a counter back straight left, which was working nice against Volkanovski. So Islam, he's a good striker in the pocket. He's a good striker from outside as well, and he's very hard to hit. To be honest, he's hard to hit. Like Islam is, if you pay attention, he's got good head movement, and he's very good at actually moving in, moving out. So he knows how to manage the distance. He's got good understanding of it. He also throws nice head kicks. So Islam, I would say Islam is pretty high on the list for being the best striker. I'm not gonna put Arman has been very effective with his striking against not very high level competition. So Arman, I would say he dominated Gamrot, I would say, in the first 3 rounds in striking. He was doing much better in striking. Who else was he fighting? Benil Dariush, he knocked him out. Arman's got very good power, so he's been very effective with his striking as well. He does have power. I just don't think it's enough. I just don't think he's faced the level of competition that Islam has faced and actually showed the level of striking that Islam has shown. So I'm definitely gonna choose Islam over Arman and Charles Oliveira. And guys, I'm gonna surprise some of you guys. I know Justin Gaethje has been very effective with his striking, but I'm gonna pick Islam over Justin. It's just because of the striking defense. I think Justin Gaethje, we've seen he's been caught a couple of times with the striking. Like when he was fighting Michael Chandler, like he dominated Michael Chandler most of the times. I don't think Islam will get caught like this, but he got caught in the first round against Michael Chandler. And I know Justin Gaethje has improved his striking over a period of time. Like there was a time when he was reckless. He was coming in, he fought Michael Johnson. He was getting caught by Michael Johnson. Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, like the way he was fighting, he was just being reckless, just trading the shots, taking the punches, taking one to get one back. That's what he was doing. And then Trevor Whitman actually worked on him and improved his striking a lot. And after that, we saw the methodical approach against Tony Ferguson, where he was able to counter him every single time that Tony was going for, like trying to come in for the shots. He was countering him with a beautiful left hook. And yes, he has power, and we've seen a lot of knockouts with just one shot. I just don't think Justin Gaethje still has the same sort of defense as Max Makhachev has. Because I think if Islam Makhachev is fighting Max Holloway would not be able to do what he did to Justin Gaethje against Islam Makhachev. And we saw Islam against Dustin, and we saw how Islam was outboxing and actually outstriking Dustin. I know some of it was probably because of the takedowns, but I am gonna say Islam is a better striker than Dustin Gaethje. I'm gonna say at the moment Islam is probably a better striker than Dustin Poirier as well, guys. Islam actually holds a lot of power as well. So Islam has knockouts in the weight class. I'm gonna surprise a lot of people. I'm gonna say I'm not even gonna put Michael Chandler into this. Not Benil Dariush, not Renato Moicano. Dan Hooker is not the same level. He's a good striker. Rafael Fiziev, he hasn't proven himself against a high level competition. He was beating Justin Gaethje, but then he started getting hit by the uppercuts. So I'm gonna say for this one, for the lightweight division, I'm gonna say it's either Islam Makhachev or Max Holloway. I saw Max Holloway was doing pretty good against Ilia Topuria, and Max Holloway probably has more skills in his arsenal, like the way he does like the spinning kicks and all of this. He's good at like putting the pace on you as well. There's a misconception that Max gets hits a lot because of the stats, but people don't actually realize he's throwing a lot more shots. When you're actually trading, when your output is that high, it means you have to come in more. It means you'll probably get hit more as well. But he doesn't get hit a lot, guys. He does not. Max Holloway. So striking wise, in this lightweight, I'm probably gonna go with Islam and Max Holloway. I'd probably go with two people in this one. I'll probably go with two. I think Islam might be a bit more effective in terms of like the knockouts. Like he's been able to knock out Volkanovski with the head kick. He's been able to Charles Oliveira, and there's a couple of low level competition that he was able to knock out. So I'm probably gonna go with this, and this might be one of the most unpopular picks because I'm assuming a lot of people actually think that I was gonna pick Dustin Poirier, maybe Max Holloway. I would say Max Holloway is probably the closest one. And then Ilia Topuria, Alexander Volkanovski. I'm gonna go with Ilia Topuria in this one. I think it's because of the effectiveness. Like some people might say that Max Holloway is a more complete sort of striker. It tells like Max does like beautiful spinning attacks. He also goes for like head kicks. Ilia, we've never seen him doing this. But I think it's just because of the boxing heavy approach that he has, and it just works for him. Like his defense is so strong when he's trading the punches in the pocket, and also the way he actually puts it on you. It's just been very effective. We know he's knocked out the two best strikers in the featherweight division history, so there's not much point to actually out Ilia Topuria. I think his striking is just very effective. It works for him, and he's probably got the best leg kicks in the featherweight division right now. Like he really chops them. Alexander Volkanovski is another good mention. Obviously, Alexander Volkanovski has beaten Jose Aldo. He's beaten Max Holloway. So definitely going to rank him very high. He just got knocked out against Ilia Topuria, so I think I'm going to give it to Ilia. I think Ilia, because of his solid boxing. Diego Lopez is another mention. Good striking, but I would say he hasn't shown the most technical striking. He has shown great heart. He has shown a willingness to engage in striking battles, but not the best striking. Yair Rodriguez, very flashy striking. Probably the best kicks in the UFC, to be honest. Yair's got unbelievable kicks, but nowhere close of striking to Ilia Topuria. Just got more. It's just more technical striking, I would say. It's just more effective. It just works for him. It's more, he's got better defense as well at the same time. But Featherweight's got a couple of good strikers. You have Calvin Cater, good boxing. Lauren Murphy, again, good boxing, good kicks. You got Edson Barboza, probably the best kicks. But I would say at the moment it's Ilia Topuria. It's hard to put anyone above Ilia Topuria. I would say Alexander Volkanovski, Max Holloway are very close mentions, but Ilia Topuria right now. Bantamweight, Mirab Dvalishvili, no, that's not even close. Sean O'Malley, I would say, is a very high level mention. He had a good fight with Yan, very close one, although I do think Yan actually won the fight. He completely outclassed Marlon Vera. That was a good victory. And yeah, I would say Sean hasn't actually faced like a high level competition. Like even when he got the title shot, he only had like one good win against Yan. That's it. He wasn't like he hadn't fought anybody in the top 10. So I'm not actually gonna give it to Sean. I'm If you're just basing it on the skill, maybe Sean is the best striker, but I think Sean has not had the chance to actually prove it against the high level strikers. Omar again. Guys, these two guys, Sean and Omar, I'm gonna say they're very high level strikers. Omar, the way he uses his legs as like a jab, but he's in like the southpaw stance and he's throwing the right kick. It's unbelievable. It's amazing, and they both have power in their hands as well. They knock people out. It's I'm not gonna use it because they haven't proven it against high level competition, and I'm pretty sure Omar's one day he's gonna earn Mars, like he's gonna earn it. And if you're looking at the skill, the best fighter, I would say Omar is the best fighter in this division overall. I'm just not gonna put him as the best striker. I think I'm gonna go with Peter Yan. I can go with I can see two beautiful strikers over here. I can either go with Peter Yan or Corey Sandhagen because they both have been able to prove it against a very high level competition. I'm gonna go against Yan. The reason being, he has done it at a very high level and he has done it successfully and he has done it multiple times. Sean O'Malley, I think Peter Yan actually won the fight. I think Peter Yan was outclassing him most of the fight. I think Sean was the new boy. He was like the golden boy. UFC wanted to push him, so they actually gave him the W. But I think Yan was the one who actually hurt him really bad. And then Yan versus Corey Sandhagen, guys. If you want to watch the MMA striking battles, that's one. That's the one that you need to look for. To be honest, it doesn't get any better than that. The technical setups, the in pocket, the out pocket striking, it's amazing. I think Peter Yan, when it comes to like setting traps, downloading the data, he does it better than anyone. Then he had the battle against Davison Figueiredo. You saw that one, how he outclassed him. Like Yan, it looks like he just learns it. He just takes all the data in. He has beautiful spinning kicks. He has beautiful takedown setups from the punches that he throws. He has yeah, he's got great leg kicks. He does great head kicks. He does everything. He's got good elbows. He's got good knees. He does great spinning elbows. He does. Yan is like a complete package when it comes to striking. And then he has done it to him. He has done it to Song Yadong. That was a good fight. He outclassed him. Yes. And then he did it to Jose Aldo. And Jose Aldo was a bit higher in the ranks. He did it to him. He did it to Uriah Faber when Uriah Faber was fighting. So Peter Yan has done it against a very high level of competition, and that's why I would say Peter Yan is probably one of the best strikers in the UFC. And then you move to flyweight. Pandoy has improved his striking a lot, but I think he still relies a lot on the submissions. Like that's what he's trying to do, trying to get the takedown, trying to get the submission, trying to get the back. Roy Wall would be a high mention. He had a win against Brandon Moreno. Tetsuro Taira, solely based on his striking, I would say. Flyweight has some good strikers. Amir Buzz is not even close. Brandon Moreno, yeah, being very successful. He has a win against Roy Wall. He has a win. He knocked out Kai Kara France, and he had good victories against Davison Figueiredo. So I'm gonna go with, guys, just depending on the experience over here, I'm gonna go with Brandon Moreno, and I think some people would actually disagree with me because there's such good strikers in the division actually, but I don't think they've done it on such a high level. Like Royval, he's done good striking, but he's never been able to successfully do it against like a high level, other than Marino one time, probably. But he lost to him one time too. So other than that, he has not been able to do it against like a high level competition. So I want to see people doing it on high level. I think Royval at the end might be able to do it because he might have more skill. I like Marino's style. I think he's been able to do everything with the striking. Like he does that beautiful left kick after the combination
which doesn't even come at like as like a switch kick. It's like he just so flexible he could just do it from there. And then yeah, he's got nice body kicks. Is really nice left body kick that he throws that he knocked out Kai Kara France with. And then even in boxing, he has nice combinations and he's improved his defense a lot. So I would say Marine is probably the best striker. Kai Kara France definitely. If you're looking for the finishes, Kai Kara France is probably the best finisher. Very effective with the finishing as well, and probably the only flyweight who could actually knock you out after Figueiredo, I would say, who's been able to do it. And then there's other mentions like obviously Manel Cobb has been doing pretty well. Alex Perez is a good striker. Stevie Erceg's been effective. You could say Kaya Sakura. I mean, Kaya Sakura might be the best striker to be honest, but he hasn't done it in the UFC. Joshua Wan again, but again, they're pretty low in the ranks. If they haven't fought like the high level guys, once they actually prove it on a high level, I would say, okay, them. Skill wise, yeah, I can see they're probably more skilled than Brandon Moreno on the feet. But I would say Brandon Moreno is a combination of skill, combination of experience, combination of doing it against the high level guys and getting effective results. So I'm gonna pick Moreno in that. And guys, if you're looking at like a pound for pound striker, pound for pound, who's gonna be the best? So in flyweight, I went for Moreno. In bantamweight, I went for Peter Yan. In featherweight, I went for Elliot Poria. In lightweight, I went for Samakachev. In welterweight, I went for Leon Edwards. In middleweight, I went for Israel Adesanya. In light heavyweight, I went for Alex Pereira. And in heavyweight, I went for Tom Aspinall. If you're looking for the pound for pound best striker, I'm gonna say Alex Pereira. Now, I think it's between Alex Pereira and probably Peter Yan, I would say. Alex Pereira, Peter Yan, and Elliot Poirier. I think it's probably between those three guys. The reason I'm gonna pick Alex Pereira, I think, is because he's been able to finish such a high level competition and he's been able to do it solely based on his striking. Like, yeah, Peter Yan has done it against a very high level competition, but most of those fights actually went to the decision. Alex Pereira has been able to finish those guys. Like Israel Adesanya, former champion, finished him, knocked him out. Sean Strickland, champion, knocked him out. Jiri Prohaska, champion, knocked him out twice. Jamal Hill, champion, knocked him out. Jan Blachowicz didn't knock him out, but almost finished him in the fight. Khalil Roundtree, high level striker, Muay Thai background, finished him, knocked him out. And he's been able to display like a full arsenal of the striking. Like he's the guy who could use both his boxing and the kickboxing skills. Kicking game is perfect, boxing game is perfect. Good defense as well at the same time. So I would say Alex Pereira is the pound for pound best striker in the UFC.